Hi everyone, I'm back with a sit-down video for a few tips and tricks about how to travel through Asia. So today I will be talking about things that I'm happy I brought with me or should have brought with me. And on the other hand, afterwards I will talk about things that I wish I hadn't brought with me or I'm happy I did not bring with me. So basically kind of a what you should bring and what you shouldn't bring with you when you're traveling through Asia. What's really funny is that some of the things I had mentioned in my hostel's essentials actually turned out to be not so practical, but that depends on like where you go. So I had based my hostel's essentials on my previous trips and those were done in Europe, and now it's the first time I'm traveling through Asia, and now we realize that obviously Asia is different and hostels in Asia are also different, so the things you need to bring are obviously different. So let's jump right into it. So my first item is a mini version of your birth certificate. And so mine is like this. It's a paper, I folded it and I put it in a Ziploc bag. By the way, put every important documents, including like your passport, whatever, in Ziploc bags, because I have experienced having water fall all over my passport and then you have to get a new one, and that's a pain and it's long and it's costly, so that sucks. But in this case, for the birth certificate, I put it in this, but I brought my original one, which is obviously not the smartest thing. Hopefully my parents don't see this, but I know that back home in Canada, provinces are responsible for issuing your birth certificate. So I know that in Quebec you can get one that's like shaped like a card. I believe it is plastic, so obviously there's no dangers with water and you can put it in your wallet. And if you have that and you lose your passport, fortunately that sucks, but you need your birth certificate to issue a new passport. Without it, it's so much more complicated. I'm sure they can still issue it, but it's a lot more complicated. So bring a mini version of your birth certificate with you. Alright, second item is a Kindle. I'm really happy I brought a Kindle with me. That way I was able to read on planes, at the beach, or whatever without having to carry tons of books with me. I know Alex has brought like 5 or 6 books with him. This bag is really heavy. So, Kindle. Another thing I'm really happy I brought with me is this elastic workout band, because whenever I don't get to go to the gym, at least I can do a little quick workout, even if it's just 10-20 minutes. I get to move a little, and this takes like no space whatsoever. Next up, we have rehydration packs. When you travel to Asia, you will get sick, okay? I also recommend getting it from the pharmacy back home, because when you're sick, you obviously don't want to leave your house or your hostel, whatever, and have to find this. I have to say though, I went to the pharmacy twice in Thailand, and the pharmaceutical system is really A1. So it's not like a problem of they won't have it or whatever. It's more about convenience. Like, you want this close to you the minute you get sick. Anyways, I have extra contact lenses. This happened to me in Europe actually. I think I have brought like maybe 2 or 3 packs of contact lenses for like a month and a half, 2 months. I think I lost one and I think one broke, so I had to buy new contact lenses. It can be really difficult. You need your prescription, you need whatever. So I left for 4 months and I brought like 6 months worth of contacts. You can even bring more because this is really small. Next up, things I'm really happy I brought with me were these. So this is basically like off, so insect repellent from Great Outdoors, but I'm sure off does the same thing, but you really need to have the DEET. So this here, you really need to have DEET in it. To be honest, I have no idea what DEET does, but I've been told many times you need DEET in. So insect repellent with DEET in it, and sunscreen. Don't go crazy and bring like thousands of them. I just brought like maybe 1 of each. Obviously, I would recommend smaller sizes, because when you have big sizes, you need to check your suitcase if it's on over 100 ml, and it's actually pretty expensive to check your suitcase in Asia. It's usually about $100 per suitcase, so that kind of sucks, of course. Over there, sunscreen and insect repellent are a little bit more expensive, of course, because they know that you will need it. All right, next one is Airpods. And here's the thing, I've had these for about 3 years, so of course I was gonna bring them with me. They're always in my purse, but when I was in Europe, I didn't have Airpods yet. And I did have like an iPhone that had this thing here. I don't know if you, yeah, that USB-C, I believe, plug-in. And when you need to charge your phone, you can listen to music. In this case, they work perfectly together. All right, next up is this very ugly thing on my phone. And it's so funny because this was my dad's and it was on his phone. And when he offered to like give it to me, I was like, oh, this is so lame. There's no way I'm gonna use this. This is probably one of the most practical things I have with me because if you're on boats and you want to film, if you're at the beach, like in the water, you want to film, or on scooters, if you're on the back of a scooter and you just put this in, and that way, like whatever happens, if you drop it, then you're fine. I have this amazing bag from Lululemon, which I have worn pretty much every day of my life since I bought it, but obviously I wanted to bring it with me because there's a reason why I use it every day, even back home. It's because it's super practical. Again, on scooters, we just finished the Hagyan loop. I had this the whole time on me. That way I could access things easily. It's a perfect purse. You have everything close to you if you want to go out and party. Again, everything's close to you. Overall, just very practical. It could be any brand, it could be anything. I really love this one because it's just simple, and even when I went to like nicer places, this can still kind of look good. You know, I just kind of strap it around me like this, and I don't know, I think it looks cute. Next up, we have the Airtag. So I actually got this for Christmas from my sister, but I know it costs about like $40. And the reason why I think it's so practical is just, I know last summer there was a big like problem with suitcases getting lost because there were so many people traveling. It's not a miracle solution. Obviously, you will not get your suitcase faster if you have an Airtag. This happened to me last summer. They did not lose my suitcase, but they moved the places like 3 times, whatever, and I was like, I don't even know if my suitcase made it to Montreal. So I ended up waiting, I think, over 2 hours to get my suitcase, and there was a chance that it wasn't even in Montreal. So in that case, at least you're not wasting your time. You see like, oh, it's still in X country, fine, I'll just wait until it actually says that it's close by and I'll go to the airport and pick it up. Lastly, packing cubes. So I had mentioned this when I did my pack with me, I believe. This is the first time I'm using packing cubes. They are life-changing. Okay, I know it's a little bit extreme, but they really are. Alex doesn't have any packing cubes in his backpack, and it gives me anxiety going through his bag because if you're looking for something, you literally need to take everything out. I have 3 packing cubes. I have one for bottoms, one for tops, and one that's like miscellaneous, but I know what's in there. And it does make your stuff more compact, obviously, because it presses down everything. One last thing is my Tevas, whatever. I wasn't convinced about those, okay? It took me a little while to wrap my head around, all right, I need to be more comfortable than cute in this trip, and I wanted to bring Birkenstocks with me instead. I know they're not much cuter, but I think they're cuter with outfits anyways. But it turns out that I love these shoes. They are cheaper obviously than Birkenstocks also, so that helps, but they can go through anything, okay? Dust, dirt, mud, water, anything without getting destroyed. That's the thing with Birkenstocks. They're obviously made of leather, so you can't wear them in, let's say, a shower. If you want to take a shower in the hostel, which I definitely recommend wearing shoes in. Well, not shoes, like sandals, but if I had brought Birkenstocks with me, that meant that I needed to bring flip-flops also. So in that case, I just kind of put 2 in 1 and got the Teva. Alright, so I've made it through everything I'm happy I brought with me, or I wish I had brought with me. So now we're doing the opposite, so things I'm happy I didn't bring with me or wish I hadn't brought with me. So let's start with this. Again, this was in my hostel essentials. I am actually happy I brought a tote bag with me. There's a little caveat. I wish I had brought a black one, just because you're gonna carry it everywhere. This gets dirty really quickly. It's got a little bit ruined, so black one instead of just a normal canvas one. This is my Way leave-in conditioner, and I bought like the big 140 milliliters before leaving. Then I put it in this little container to go through security at the airport. But I think I've been warned about 4 times so far that it has to be identified. This is the first time like I've experienced this when I was in Europe. Maybe it's like a new thing, I don't know. But usually when you have 100 milliliter containers, they don't really care. But yeah, I've been told that it has to be identified, otherwise they could throw it out, which would obviously suck. So yeah, make sure you have containers. Like this should have been the original way container, but in travel size. So I was so happy about this. When I found this and I thought about this, I was like, I am a genius. No. In hostels, they won't usually have washing machines, so it's usually like you bring your bag to the reception, they bring it somewhere else to wash your clothes, and then bring it back when it's all clean. So this is not practical for Asia at all. It's actually practical for Europe. Since they don't have washing machines in the hostel, this was useless. I didn't even use it once, so. Then, another thing, I was really proud of myself when I filmed my hostel essential. I used it once to hang a sheet because I didn't book a hostel with like kind of a capsule-like bed. That's how I call it. So it's basically like 3 walls and a curtain. So this was actually practical for this. Again, in Europe, I'm sure this would be a lot more practical, and I will get used from it back home. So it's not like a total loss, but it's a loss of space, that's for sure, in my suitcase. So. Then next up, things I'm happy I didn't bring with me are any shampoos or conditioners, like especially the full size. Again, there's a caveat with that one. So if you're using just Pantene or Dove, it's fine that you don't bring it with you. You'll find it everywhere, every 7-Eleven little mart thing. The caveat is if you are using more high-end products, I would suggest bringing it with you. The best comparison I have is I really wanted to buy some Olaplex, and back home like the normal size is usually about, I believe, $35 or $40. I think they're up to $40 now at Sephora. But in Bali, I want to buy some in Bali, and it was over $60. So bring your purple shampoo with you because that's something you will not find. And if you do find it, it's obviously gonna be expensive, as always. Alright, so that's it for this video. Hopefully it was practical and it helped you if you're packing for an upcoming trip. If you do think of something that I forgot to mention or whatever, please leave it in the comments below. That way we can help each other. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to join the family, please hit the subscribe button below, and I'll see you soon for another video. Bye!